Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to another edition of AAU Talks on AAU TV. The AAU TV is an initiative by the Association of African Universities that is aimed at disseminating information on higher education on the continent, also aimed at showcasing the activities and programs of the Association of African Universities. With me in the studio today is Mr. Kwaku Ankomah, and we are going to be talking about a new AAU workshop series which is focusing on legal issues in African higher education. You are welcome, Mr. Ankomah.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Addy, for having me.
Well, viewers, if you are conversant with the AAU, you would realize that legal issues in higher education is not a topic we have been looking at in our workshops. So I would want to ask Mr. Ankomah, why this new focus? Why legal issues in African higher education? What has prompted this?
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Addy, for having me. As I said earlier, sometimes I may be going back to my paper to make references because, you know, I'm not an expert in law. Maybe my resource person, Lawyer Fachi, would have done a better job than this, but then I'm going to try to give insight into some of the issues and the questions you ask.
You go ahead.
To your question, the legal environment in our higher education in Africa is quite a litigious one. Maybe if you are outside, you may not recognize how litigious it is, but then if you are inside, you will know that it is an issue of concern. And it's something that is bothering administrators of our higher educational institutions. However, our administrators and the managers of the university need not necessarily be lawyers, but then they play their individual role. In that, it is critical to know about the law so that it will guide their decision making. So we thought of it as a capacity building institution. We thought of it, let's intervene in this area and then help our leaders in our higher education in areas of legal issues.
Okay, so I take it that one objective will be to sensitize management of higher education institutions on legal issues. What are the issues that could come up?
Yes.
Okay. Aside sensitization, what else are you looking at given to people who participate in the workshop?
Okay, right now we are looking at the new trends and then cross-cutting issues in legal, regarding legal issues in higher education. Not only that, AAU as a capacity building organization, what we also do is to create a platform for leaders and the managers in higher education to meet, consult with each other, and then share solutions among themselves. So this is also one of the initiatives that's in line with our strategic goals, to create a platform. So let's say we are organizing a workshop on legal issues. We're going to have the legal experts of the higher education present in the workshop. We're going to have vice chancellors, deans of students' affairs. We're going to have a lot of people coming from the higher education institutions. Now they meet. They get to talk about happenings, legal issues in their institutions. With that, you can learn, network from the practices in other institutions and then apply it in your institution if you are not already doing something like that.
Okay, so that sounds interesting. Well, so you've already touched on the relevance of the workshop with regards to the strategic objectives of the AAU, or the Association of African Universities. Can we talk a bit about what some of the issues are? What are some of the hot issues when we talk about legal issues? Legal, is it to do with student affairs? Is it to do with contracts, intellectual property rights? What are the issues?
Okay, this edition, what the inaugural one that we're organizing, we're going to look at diverse issues that covers student affairs, that covers management, that covers contracts, everything. But then one important thing that we'll be looking at in our workshops this time is the fact that now we are pushing for innovation in research. We are pushing for the fact that lecturers need not just publish and leave it. They need to publish or be innovative, publish, and then claim ownership and make use of their research. In that area, there's the need for copyright laws, to know about the copyright laws that guide all those things. And then the universities need to be sensitized on these issues. In the same area, we'll be looking at data protection. That has to do with protecting the data in the universities. We are also going to be looking at sexual harassment in our higher education institutions. Yes. So that will be the law regarding sexual harassment. We're also going to be looking at a whole lot of contracts, like we say, in hiring, tenure, promotions in our higher education.
So employee issues would come up as well.
Yeah, so all are those issues that we are going to be talking about.
Okay. So viewers, if you are now joining us, this is AAU Talks, and today we are talking about a new workshop introduced by the AAU that is going to look at legal issues in higher education in Africa. With me in the studio is the Assistant Project Officer responsible for this initiative, Mr. Kwaku Schenineda. So, Mr. Kwaku Schenineda Ankomah, sorry. There are so many things you're going to be looking at. How long will the workshop be, or what is the duration of the workshop?
Okay, the workshop is a 4-day workshop. So we start on Tuesday and then we end on Friday. So it's going to be a 4-day workshop.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
What are the specific dates?
We're starting on the 5th of June and then we will end on the 8th of June. Yeah.
Okay. I see a 4-day workshop, and then I look at the long list of issues you are planning to address.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, I mean, how much would you be able to achieve over a period of 4 days?
Okay, we've structured the model in such a way that it fits perfectly in a 4-day workshop.
Okay.
So we're going to make sure that at the end of the 4-day, we meet the objectives for which we organize the workshop. So the model has been structured in a way that it fits in a 4-day workshop. So that wouldn't be a problem at all. We've taken care of that.
Then I would want to go on to ask, are there any plans for follow-up? Is it just going to be a one-off session where, I mean, you are done with a group of participants and that's it, or you have plans to continue, as it were, the learning process through other means?
Okay, that is a good question. It's not a one-off event or workshop. First of all, we are starting in Gaborone, Botswana, and then looking at our demography, the target. We are serving the whole of Africa, and sometimes we're going to Botswana now. Not all our members will be able to make it to Botswana on the 5th of June. So what we do is we're going to replicate in a different region in Africa. This one is in South Africa. The next one, we come to Eastern Africa, we come to West Africa. So we'll be replicating that so that we'll be able to serve all our member institutions. And also,
okay, you go on.
Also, we are looking at legal issues. Legal issues are changing every day. And so with that, we always keep our members updated on the happenings. So we do this one, then another issue comes up, we need to address it, and so we will organize another workshop that will address current trends in higher education legal issues.
I'll take you back to that question again, because the question was, you have one group of participants.
Yeah.
You take them through the workshop.
Good.
My question is, does it mark the end of the workshop, mark the end of that learning process for that particular group? Because yes, you will replicate in the other regions of Africa, but then it means each time you're going to be handling a different group of participants.
Yes.
Are there any plans of continuing the learning process? Do you have plans, for instance, for bringing them together virtually to continue the discussion, because as you have said, the issues are dynamic.
Yes, good. So like the interesting thing is, like I said, we're creating a network of people who deal with legal issues in our higher education. So let's just say that we bring together the head of legal counsel of University of Cape Coast, the head of legal counsel of University of, say, Botswana. We bring them together. We bring all of these people together. They come to discuss the issues. And when they are leaving there, we create a network of the participants who will continue the discussion even beyond the workshop. So let's just say the workshop has come to an end. Then there is an issue in, say, University of Botswana. The University of Botswana, maybe they have experienced that University of Cape Coast had an instance where they had to deal with similar situation. You can call the University of Cape Coast head of legal counsel. I have this same issue in my university. When it happened in your institution, what did you do? And so the person can also offer recommendations. So that is the beauty of it. So the discussions even go beyond our workshop.
Thank you, Mr. Schenineda. So the workshop is set for June.
Yes.
Could you please go over again the dates for the workshop, the venue? And Botswana doesn't have easy immigration laws. So how are you going to facilitate travel to Gaborone for the workshop?
In instances like this, we look at our member institutions in Botswana. So we have our member institutions in Botswana to host these particular workshops. And so right now we are in consultation trying to get one of our member institutions to host this particular workshop, and that will facilitate the visa arrangements into Botswana. And then the workshop is happening on the 5th of June to 8th of June in Gaborone, Botswana. And so that will be with the dates. And then unfortunately, or let me say, fortunately, it's a paid workshop. So each participant has to pay a subsidized amount of $500 to join this workshop.
Thank you very much, Mr. Schenineda. Viewers, you heard Mr. Schenineda Ankomah, and this looks to be a very interesting workshop. Legal issues in higher education, employee issues, students' issues, sexual harassment, and the like.
Data protection, yes.
We cannot afford to miss this opportunity. I would give the last word to Mr. Ankomah. What would be your last word? You have the opportunity to make a call to our universities to patronize this event.
Like we mentioned earlier, this workshop starts on the 5th to the 8th of June. And then we want our member institutions to register as early as possible. As we know, getting a visa to Botswana sometimes may be quite hectic. But then if we are able to register earlier, we'll be able to facilitate the travels into Botswana. So the workshop fee is $500. You register, you visit our blog, blog.aau, and then you have information regarding the legal issues workshop. And then we're hoping that all of them will be present in our workshop.
Thank you very much. But before we go, I would want to know, is it open only to AAU member institutions?
No, it's not open to only AAU member institutions, but then it's open to all universities in Africa. But if you are AAU member institution, that is when you are paying the $500. But then if you are not an AAU member institution, you pay something extra. So this is also a call for universities that are not members of Association of African Universities to register to join Association of African Universities.
Thank you very much. So viewers, this has been AAU Talks for today. The focus was on legal issues in African higher education, and you heard our guest. So you are welcome to attend that workshop, and we say to you, Dumela Ra and Dumela Ma, which is how we greet in Botswana. Till we meet you again next time, it's bye from us here in the studio.